Question 1. What is the forbidden energy gap in joules for a germanium crystal? So now Eg is equal to 0.7 eV. So 0.7 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules, which is equal to 1.12 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. So option B, 1.12 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule, is the correct answer. Question 2. Fermi energy is option A, minimum energy of electrons in a metal at 0 Kelvin. Option B, maximum energy of electrons in a metal at 0 Kelvin. Option C, minimum energy of electron in metal at 0 degrees Celsius. Option D, maximum energy of electron in metal at 0 degrees Celsius. So we know that Fermi energy is nothing but maximum energy of electron in a metal at 0 Kelvin. So option B, at 0 Kelvin, maximum energy of electron at 0 Kelvin, is the correct answer. Question 3. In an insulator, option A, the valence band is partially filled with electrons. Option B, conduction band is partially filled with electrons. Option C, conduction band is empty and the valence band is filled with electrons. Option D, conduction band is filled with electrons and the valence band is empty. So we know that in insulator, conduction band and valence band, conduction band is empty and the valence band is filled with electron. So option C is the correct answer. Question 4. In a crystal, the permitted energy state of electron are present. Option A, in conduction band and the forbidden gap. Option B, only in the forbidden gap. Option C, in the valence band and the conduction band. Option D, in the forbidden gap and the valence band. So we know that in the crystal, the permitted energy state of electrons are present in the valence band and the conduction band. So option C, in valence band and conduction band, is the correct answer. Question 5. Which one of the following is an amorphous solid? Option A, rubber. Option B, plastic. Option C, glass. Option D, all of the above. So we know that rubber, plastic, glass, all of them are amorphous solid. So option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Question 6. According to band theory, the energy carried by the electron is option A, maximum in the conduction band. Option B, maximum in the valence band. Option C, minimum in the valence band. Option D, maximum in the forbidden band. So now we know band theory, according to band theory, energy carried by the electron is maximum in the valence band. So option B, maximum in the valence band, is the correct answer. Question 7. A solid having uppermost energy band partially filled with electron is called option A, an insulator. Option B, a semiconductor. Option C, a conductor. Option D, a polar dielectric. So now we know a solid which has having uppermost energy band partially filled with electron is called as a conductor. Option C, conductor, is the correct answer. Question 8. The band diagram of three semiconductors P, N and intrinsic are given in the figure 1, 2, 3. So here are the figures 1, 2, 3. C and V are conduction and valence bands and EF is the Fermi level. From left to right, they are respectively given by, these are the diagrams. Option A, N intrinsic P. Option B, P intrinsic N. Option C, intrinsic Pn. Option D, intrinsic Np. So now we know in intrinsic semiconductor, EF lies in middle of the energy gap, In P, it is near the conduction band. In P, it is near the conduction band. In N type, it is near the valence band. In N type, it is near the valence band. So option D, intrinsic Np, is the correct answer. Question 9. The highest energy level which can be occupied by an electron in valence band at 0 Kelvin is known as the Fermi energy. So option C, Fermi energy, is the correct answer. Question 10. In good conductors, the gap between valence band and conduction band is. So we know that the valence band and conduction band overlap. If it is a good conductor, valence band and conduction band overlap with each other and there is no gap between them. So the option A, 0, is the correct answer. There is 0 gap between them. Question 11. Carbon, silicon and germanium have 4 valence electrons each. At room temperature, which of the following statement is most appropriate? So we know that carbon is an insulator. Carbon is insulator. Silicon and germanium are semiconductors. The band gap is maximum for carbon, less for silicon and least for germanium. Therefore, carbon has very small number of electrons, So option C, the number of free electrons for conduction is significant. Only Si and Ge, but very small in carbon. So option C is the correct answer. Question 12. At 0 Kelvin, intrinsic semiconductor behaves as. We know at 0 Kelvin, intrinsic semiconductor behave as a perfect insulator. So option C, a perfect insulator, is the correct answer. Question 13. For an intrinsic semiconductor, the valency of donor impurity is option A 2, option B 3, option C 4, option D 5. So we know that for extrinsic semiconductor, the valency of donor impurity is 5. So option D 5 is the correct answer. Question 14. For an extrinsic semiconductor, the valency of acceptor impurity is option A 2, option B 3, option C 4, option D 5. So we know that for extrinsic semiconductor, the valency of acceptor impurity is 3. So option B 3 is the correct answer. Question 15. A p-type and an n-type germanium can be obtained by doping pure germanium with option A phosphorus and arsenic, option B indium and phosphorus, option C boron and aluminium, option D aluminium and indium. So we know that a p-type and n-type germanium can be obtained by doping pure germanium with indium and phosphorus. So option B indium and phosphorus is the correct answer. Question 16. The impurity atom which pure silicon should be doped to make a p-type semiconductor is option A indium, option B arsenic, option C antimony, option D germanium. So we know that the impurity atom which pure silicon should be doped to make a p-type semiconductor is indium. So option A indium is the correct answer. Question 17. When the temperature of an n-type semiconductor is increased, option A net charge is positive, option B net charge is negative, option C majority carriers are increased, option D minority carriers are increased. So we know that when temperature of n-type semiconductor is increased, majority carriers are increased. So option C majority carriers are increased is the correct answer. Question 18. If a semiconductor is cooled from T1K to T2K, its resistance option A will decrease, option B will not change, option C will first decrease and then increase, option D will increase. Now we know that if a semiconductor is cooled from T1K to T2K, its resistance will increase. So option D will increase is the correct answer. Question 19. When the temperature of semiconductor is increased, its specific resistance will option A increase, option B remains unchanged, option C decreases, option D first decrease and then increase. So we know that when temperature of semiconductor is increased, its specific resistance decreases. So option C decreases is the correct answer. Question 20. The number of electrons in valence shell of semiconductor is option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. So we know that number of electrons in the valence shell of a semiconductor is 4. So option D 4 is the correct answer. Question 21. The resistivity of a pure semiconductor at absolute zero is option A infinity, option B 0, option C same as that of conductors of NTP, option D same as that of insulators at room temperature. Now we know resistivity of pure semiconductor at absolute zero is infinity. So option A infinity is the correct answer. Question 22. The minority carriers in the following semiconductors are option A holes in p-type and electrons in n-type, option B holes in both p and n-type, option C holes in n-type and electrons in p-type, option D electrons in both n and p-type. So we know that minority carriers in the following semiconductors are holes in n-type and electrons in p-type. So option C is the correct answer. Question 23. Holes exist in option A conduction band of an intrinsic semiconductor, option B conduction band of extrinsic semiconductor, option C valence band of intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor, option D superconductors. So we know that holes exist in valence band of intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. So option C is the correct answer. Question 24. In an extrinsic semiconductor, the number of holes and electrons are NH and Ne respectively. Then option A NH is equal to NP, option B NH is greater than NP, Option C, NH is lesser than NP. Option D, NH is not equal to NP. So option D, number of holes is not equal to number of P, is the correct answer. If G1, G2 and G3 denote the forbidden energy gap for insulators, semiconductors and conductors, then option A, G1 is equal to G2 is equal to G3. Option B, G1 is greater than G2, G2 is greater than G3. Option C, G3 is greater than G2 and G2 is greater than G1. Option D, G2 is greater than G1 and G2 is greater than G3. Now we know that if G1, G2, G3 denote forbidden energy gap for insulators, semiconductors and conductors, so G1 is greater than G2 and G2 is greater than G3. That is option B is the correct answer. Question 26. The potential barrier for a semiconductor diode is 0.6 volt at room temperature. The approximate value of its potential barrier if its temperature is increased by 20 degrees Celsius is. The potential barrier decreases on heating. Hence, it cannot be 0.6, 0.8 or 0.9 volt. So option D, 0.4 volt is the correct answer. Question 27. In a semiconductor, the energy gap between the valence and conduction band is 1.1 eV. It is expressed in joules as, we know energy gap is equal to 1.1 eV, which is equal to 1.1 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, which is equal to 1.76 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. So option B, 1.76 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules is the correct answer. Question 28. In a p-type semiconductor, the minority and majority carriers are respectively option A, holes and electrons, option B, electrons and holes, option C, protons and electrons, option D, electrons and protons. So we know that in p-type semiconductor, the minority and majority carriers are electrons and holes. So option B, electrons and holes is the correct answer. Question 29. Which one of the following element when added as impurity to silicon produces an n-type semiconductor? Option A, Mg, option B, aluminium, option C, boron, option D, phosphorus. So we know that when phosphorus is added to impurity as to silicon produces n-type semiconductor. So option D is the correct answer. Question 30. Identify the characteristics which is not applicable for an intrinsic semiconductor. Option A, at a very low temperature near absolute zero, it behaves like an insulator. Option B, it is electrically neutral. Option C, at higher temperatures, electrons and holes are the charge carriers in its valence band. Option D, at higher temperatures, two types of charge carriers produce conductivity in it. So the characteristic which is not applicable is option C. At higher temperatures, electrons and holes are charge carriers in the valence band is not applicable for intrinsic semiconductor. So option C is the correct answer.